I'll begin with, let's try to clear some of the things that your critics, of which there's a couple, say, and which are sometimes contradictory between themselves. Some of them say, you are so in love with spectacle that you think is really a show-off. Is that a problem, or are you happy to be called the godfather of gastro cuisine? Then again, some other people say, Heston is a creative cook, but there's too many signature dishes. You have many times the same things going one way after the other to bring instead of having entirely new things. I guess these are pretty unfounded bits of criticism, but since they're other, it's your chance to address them and to reduce them to smithereens. I don't think it's working. I think it's not working. Because I'm hearing you just here. No, they can't. No. Technical glitch.
How's that?
Your good old side mic.
Okay. So I think the first question, which is to do with the whole smoke and mirrors, I think one of the most important things of all, ultimately when you cook food, it comes down to one thing. It comes down to taste. I think that with any chef embracing modern technology and modern techniques, it doesn't matter what that technology is, but ultimately the food has to give pleasure. Sometimes that's about purely its taste, and sometimes it's about something more. Sometimes it's about maybe creating a surprise or some level of enjoyment. Now, you're always going to have a level of subjectivity. So when we talk about taste, basically McDonald's please the most people in the world as a restaurant. So what does that say for food and cooking? And I would say that if you took every dish that I've done has a reason for all those elements. So if I'm going to bring smell into a dish, there's a reason for the incorporation of smell. There's a reason for, we did Sound of the Sea, which was the use of sound, and that was 4 years of work with Oxford University on the effect of sound on the senses. And I still maintain, I think 2003 was the first time I made a presentation at Madrid Fusion, 2003, 2004. And then I spoke about the importance of the senses in giving pleasure to the way we eat. I think the more, to a certain extent, anyone that's doing something that has a level of individuality about it is going to take some criticism. It's just the way of the world. As long as for every dish you can support it by a reason for that creative process, a justification for those elements of the dish, ultimately you want to give pleasure to the people that are eating the dish. And for me, at the Fat Duck, it should be about creating a sense of fun as well. In terms of, if you look at the menu changes, we've currently got, we try and aim for 3 to 4 fairly sizable dish additions a year. What I've also done in the past, and this is probably something I'd say is quite a selfish thing, you know, we do an awful lot of development work. So we have 52 chefs for 44 cover restaurant. We have 3 development kitchens. But sometimes I find taking one dish, there's dishes that have been on and off the menu for the last 6, 7, 8 years, but they bear no resemblance to the way they were 2 years ago. So I use it to explore techniques, and if you're looking at how to improve something, you need something as like a...
And you evolve the dish.
And the dish evolves. So it does bear no resemblance, but you apply new techniques to a particular dish. the ingredients might change as well.
If you were changing everything every year, does that always end in the impossibility to continue? And isn't that what's happened to your friend Ferrari?
Yeah, I suppose it's just with my style of cooking, some of these dishes are very involved. They're very, the tasting menu is between 14 and 20 courses, depending. There's only a couple of those courses are sort of a mouthful of food. They're dishes. They're dishes that require a brigade to come together around one plate of food. So it's also the way that has an influence. But the way that I set my stall out, I suppose, the type of cooking that excited me originally was about exploring the senses. And I don't think you can and should do that with every single dish. Exploring the senses can be the way that a food releases its acidity, or the way that tannin in a dish or in the wine that's going with that dish affects the way that that particular plate of food is. So that's just my style of cooking.